Hello! I am live and I am waiting for people to show up, but that's fine. I'm a little bit early. I'm also a lot bit sick today, so if you are turned off by people sniffling, I do apologize. I caught a cold while I was at VidCon this weekend. I think it's called what you would call convention crud. I was on a plane and I spent a lot of time with a lot of people. Hey Justin, how are you? You're the first one on. I'm so glad that we were able to do that watermelon ice cream for you. It came out so good. My hair looks like crap. Everything looks like crap today. I'm going to put my hair back again, but looks like I've got a big bald spot. And I don't really have a big bald spot. Good, good. Oh, that's good to hear. So, yeah, I was just saying, your puppet closet is so colorful. Thank you. We got it at IKEA. Get well soon. Thank you. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of cabinets at IKEA, and it's turned into a bit of an obsession because we have these, what is it, 3, 6, 9, 12, 12 cabinets here. We have 4 more in the kitchen, and we have 4 more downstairs, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 gray, not so colorful ones, but they're the same type, or kind of the same type. So that makes me happy because things are getting organized. Our apartment is incredibly small, and we are trying as hard as we can to get organized. And the problem is that we keep making and acquiring new puppets, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So we're just going to have to deal with having a whole bunch of puppets and a whole bunch of things. As you can see, I can see Fwed is just napping over in the side. Made you put it together, didn't she? Women are awesome at putting together IKEA. I don't have a wife. I have a partner named Peter. So we put those things together ourselves. And these ones are really simple. There's absolutely no, what do you call it? There's no screws or no fasteners, nothing. You just snap the whole thing together, and they're really easy to make. So it's turned out really well, and I'm really happy with it. I'm seeing some weirdo lag on my channel. I should stop looking at myself. But when you have the camera facing you, it's easy to say that. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. No worries. Oh, don't be sad. Don't fall in love with people on YouTube. They always disappoint you. Anyway, today I am making a foam puppet head. Now this one's made out of fabric, but this is kind of what I'm going for, this sort of look. Probably a little bit smaller, and a little bit more pointed at the top. This one right here is from the what do you call it? The Whatnot workshop, which is not in. They're not available anymore because it was through FAO Schwartz, and FAO Schwartz, of course, went out of business. This one is made out of fabric, and he is actually stuffed. He's a stuffed puppet instead of a foam head, but the way that you make it is basically the same. So I thought, since I'm not feeling well, I would just make a very quick project that's fairly easy to do. If you have the pattern, you can make it with materials that you can get at your local fabric store, and you can get the patterns online. There are a million. It's Ernie without eyes. Yeah, seriously. Oh, okay. Oh, hi, Lee. Yeah, there are people on the long hairs that they're like models. So yeah, definitely check those guys out. Yeah, this is from the Whatnots, which was from the Henson, the Henson company. They're using their blanks, although this one's stuffed instead of using the foam that they usually use. So what I've done is I have printed out a pattern, and then I'm going to use that pattern to glue together a foam head. And by the end of this live stream, what I'm hoping will happen is we will have the underpinnings, the foam head, for a puppet that I can then customize throughout another couple of live streams, where we can sew the covering for it, because I hand sew everything right now, we don't really have room for any. We don't have any flat surfaces to put a sewing machine on at this point. So instead of machine sewing anything, I hand sew everything, and so I can't do that on a live stream. But what I'm thinking is that I will show you the pieces and do all that. But first, we're going to start out with the foam head itself. And if you have the right kind of foam, how did you first get into making puppets? So my partner is a puppeteer, my partner Peter. He studied puppeteering in school, and he has been a big fan of the Hensons. So he had a number of skills, and a couple of years ago I started buying puppets. At first I just bought it because he liked them, and they were just, sort of collectibles to have. And then we started making series with puppets, and in order to make a real series, a series that was completely our own, we decided we would start making puppets. So the first thing I started to do was I would use patterns for stuffed animals, and I would make puppets out of that. So I would, Sullivan is that. His head is a dog stuffed animal pattern that I just made the mouth so that it can move. And then we started downloading some templates for puppets and started making them ourselves. And that's basically like one of the first ones we made from a template is Fwed. Fwed won't be able to talk because I'm not the person who makes him talk. But this is Fwed. He is 100% a puppet that we have made. He is made with a larger version of the foam puppet head that I'm going to be putting together today. My favorite. Aw. He's a little bit shy. He's very excited about that. He's very happy about that. So Fwed has the foam puppet head inside, and then he has a fleece covering. And then of course we add all the accoutrements, like we add the hair, and then these little eyes, which are actually the tops of fabric softener bottles. The hands were ones that I made myself. I just made the pattern by tracing it out on cardboard and then sewing two pieces together. And then we got, this is actually two feather. Hey, how's it going? Glasses remind me of old school you when you were just talking. Yeah, these are different glasses. The old ones were black. These ones are purple, but yeah, they're basically the same style. And then his hair around his neck and on top of his head is just two feather boas that we cut up. And then the inside is foam, inside his mouth. This is a different kind of foam. So there's sort of the foam structure, and then there's this thinner foam that we use for the mouth. So what we're going to do today is just go over how one would put together a foam puppet head, where you might want to be able to get some patterns for that. I'm not going to go over pattern making today because that's a completely different thing, and I don't have a setup right now where I can show you the table where I would do something like that, but I'm going to try, for when we cover this one, I'm going to try to set something up on a stand so I can show you how I drape some fleece over this foam puppet head so that you can see how you would make a pattern out of fleece or out of whatever material you want to in order to make a puppet. So, and I've dropped things, so excuse me. And for those people just joining, I have a terrible cold, so if you hear me sniffling, I do apologize for that. I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. I've really medicated myself up as much as I can, but I am a little bit drippy. So there is a website online if you are interested. Hello there. Hi. How are you doing? What is that? Fantino. Hello. We're making a foam puppet head today. Hopefully by the end of this live stream we'll have one. Do you think any of your puppets would like a mask? Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we could definitely put a mask on any of them. Probably the only one that I wouldn't say would be Fwed, just because he's got those bulging eyes and a mask wouldn't fit over him, but any other one. Most of the puppets, their heads are about the size of American Girl dolls. That's about the size, that's where we get like clothing, and if we ever need a hat. Build-A-Bear Workshop too, those are about the same size. So there's a website. It is called Project Puppet. I hope it's backwards on my camera, but I'm hoping that it's forwards here. You can purchase and download patterns for making puppet heads, puppet bodies, all sorts of things. And it includes detailed instructions on how to use them. Seems so hard to puppeteer, just impressive that it moves their mouths while making the puppets speak. Now that is called ventriloquism, and that's completely different. So a puppeteer is one who performs puppetry, and then a ventriloquist is someone who generally uses puppets. You don't have to... Oh good, it appeared normal on camera, thanks. You generally would use a puppet, but you could use anything. It's just being able to speak and have your voice sound like it's coming from somewhere else and not move your mouth. So I'm not a ventriloquist, my partner is not a ventriloquist. A lot of times people think on the 3-ingredient recipes, a lot of times people think that I'm a ventriloquist, but I'm not. My partner I actually sit on a stool in front of the refrigerator, and my partner sits on the floor. We do give him a little tiny like step stools to sit on, and he's right next to me working the puppet. So there's always two of us for the most part when there's puppetry. If you didn't already check out Sullivan, one of the first puppets I made, he went to VidCon with me this weekend. Excuse me. And he did a live stream on Saturday, which you can check out, and then this Wednesday you can see him, all of the different things he did. He met a whole bunch of really cool people, including Andre Meadows, who is pretty big on YouTube. He's called The Black Nerd, and he talks about science fiction and comic books and all sorts of nostalgic things as well, like Muppets and things like that. It was a fun stream. Oh, thanks! I did that at the last minute. Alright, I'm all over the place. Like I said, I am on mega cold medication right now. So this Project Puppetry, or Project Puppet, is where I got this particular pattern. But you can make your own pattern, or there are a million patterns that are available online for a foam puppet head if you want one. So you can just look it up. If you just Google puppet head pattern, you will find a bunch that you can print out. They're just PDFs or images, and you can just print them out as you want to, and you can make them yourself. So we need 2 pieces of this. Now this doesn't look like it would turn into, unless you're used to sewing, you probably would think that this isn't going to turn into a round head, but it actually is. And what I did was I laid this out on my floor. Get well soon, gotta go. Thanks so much for joining us while you did, that was great. I've cut out 2 pieces of the foam. Now, normally when I would put this together, I would want to use contact cement, but because I'm in my living room, contact cement is very toxic and it smells really bad. So if I used it in the living room, the smell would never go away. I actually made the mistake of trying it in my basement, which is not well ventilated. Normally I would want to do it outside. But I didn't think a live stream outside would work very well because you probably couldn't hear. As it stands right now, I've got the air conditioner on and I'm sorry you can hear that. So I'm going to start gluing this together with, I've got my hot glue gun. I think their videos are awesome. Yes, I really like the long hairs too. I think there are a lot of women on the long hairs. There's a lot of women who used to tune in when I would do the long hair stuff on my channel, and that's not weird at all. People like hair and people like long hair. So I have this hot glue gun. If you have tuned into any of my puppet making live streams before, this may look a little bit bigger and a little bit fancier than the ones that I've used before. After doing a couple of live streams where I gave myself like 3rd and 4th degree burns on my fingers, I thought maybe I need a low temperature glue gun for some of this, and so this one has dual. It has high temp and low temp. You can use the same. They have dual temp glue sticks. So that's what we're going to use, and we are going to put this together. Oh, Peter's home. So I'm going to start putting this together, and we may be joined by some friends. No burns today. I can't guarantee anything when I'm working with a glue gun. Excuse me.
No burn.
Mama George says no die or no burn.
No burn.
No burn.
No cry.
No cry.
No scream. No mistakes.
Peter's home right on time, Justin says. So, as you might know, Peter plays Mama George. So, the first thing we need to do, so all of the seams that are for these things we're going to glue together. And then as you glue it together, it starts to form into a three-dimensional thing. Get well soon and hear from you. Greetings for the amazing long hairs. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us. So this, I've got a ton of stuff over there. I'm sorry, you can just move stuff away. Except don't move my tissues because I need them. So this is just foam, craft foam that you can get at the craft store. The green color is probably not what you want if you wanted to keep this as a foam puppet without any covering, but it is perfectly acceptable for amateur puppet makers and first-time puppet makers. It's not that expensive. You can buy it by the yard. Probably need about a yard and a half if you're going to make a foam puppet. I usually buy 2 yards at a time. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start gluing these together. The first thing is, now to make a flat piece of material, oop, do you need to get by? Let me just move that for you. Peter's just, Fred's just getting by right now. So if you have a flat piece of material, let me move this out of the way. Sorry, kitty. Everybody's home and everybody's excited. The cat just hit the tripod. So if you want to make a flat piece of material round, or if you want to give it some shape, what you have to do is, hi Cricket, how are you?
I'm not Cricket.
No, Cricket's on the camera. See?
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Never mind. So we're making a puppet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're making a puppet head. Feeling much better. I think you're not sick, but I am today. I got very sick today. I got sick this
You're
weekend.
sick?
Yeah, I'm very sick. Do you need a mask?
Do we have a mask?
Oh, Cricket says hi, Fred.
Hello?
Hello.
I don't want to get sick.
Oh, maybe you don't get earth germs.
Well, they're the worst kind.
Are they the worst kind?
Yeah.
Oh no, I hope you get better soon. Thanks. I went to VidCon this weekend, and I think that just being on the plane and being with that many people just made me a little sick. So, what was I saying?
That's why I stay by myself.
You do, on Planet Fred.
Yeah.
So, to make something flat, if you're going to give it some sort of shape, you're going to use something called darts. Do you know what darts are?
Isn't that the thing that you throw in a ballroom?
That's one of the definitions for darts, but darts are also small cuts in a piece of material, and then when you put them together, if you sew them together, what it does is it folds the material in such a way that it makes it into a shape. So you most normally see them on like clothing.
Go on. Your
Yes.
story's quipping me.
Look, you're the one who came here.
I'm telling you, your story's quipping me.
Okay, so so we're gonna sew up the darts first. What I've done here, because I'm doing this the foam first, I'm not really sure what I'm going to cover this with. I may actually do something just keeping the green material. I've marked what the inside is with just a piece of masking tape. Normally I would just write that with a magic marker because it would be covered with material, as you know.
How would I know that?
I don't know. How would you know that? How would you know about puppets?
I've never seen one before.
Okay, so I'm just going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to put a bead.
Don't burn yourself.
I'm going to try not to. So I'm going to put a line of hot glue along one side. If you were using contact cement, you would want to put that on both sides. And then you squeeze together. You want to make sure that the ends go right together and that you give yourself a bit of a curve. And because I've got this as the inside, I am folding this so that the curve goes this way. Now,
You don't want it to dart out, do you?
you don't want it to dart away. Nope. No, don't dart out, don't dart away. The great thing about
Don't
this,
go breaking my dart.
I couldn't if I tried.
Ah!
Oh, maybe Cricket would remember that. She's about the same age as us. The youngins won't know what that is. They don't know Elton John, they don't know Kiki D. They might know Elton John, but where did Kiki D go?
I don't know. Didn't RuPaul do that song?
Who did he do that with?
Elton John.
Oh, everybody does it with Elton John. Not having a
what I
nose, we'll never know if Fred has a cold or not. That's true. You don't have. Honey, if I get restless. Yep. Your puppet next to you is a real comedian. You're a real comedian.
A real one.
You're a real comedian.
Wow.
Wow. So one of the cool things about the...
I'm one over Sullivan.
You don't think that Sullivan is a comedian?
Come on.
I won't take offense to that. So you see, that dart just made that turn inward. And right now, this is a hard line on the outside, but what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to turn the whole thing inside out. So that's our first side. And now I'm just going to do the same thing, and I'm going to do the dart this way for this side. So people who just joined us, we are making a foam puppet head. Today, I have already cut out the pattern pieces. These patterns are from a company called Project Puppet, which you can find online. We purchased the pattern. When you get down, I always go, oh my gosh, everybody is singing Don't Go Breaking My Heart. It's like a 1970s revival here. So I'm just gluing the darts with a little bit of low temperature hot glue right now. I have learned to use low temperature hot glue when I am on camera because the high temperature...
off camera too.
Well, sometimes I'll use the high temperature if I'm trying to do something that really, really needs a lot of strength. But I'm a lot more careful, whereas when I'm on camera, I tend to forget what I'm doing and I will glue myself together. Remember when I glued my sock? So I was holding something with my foot. I was holding together two pieces of material with my foot because it was a really big thing, and I hot glued my sock to, what was it? Oh, the cow, before I made the cow body right.
It's a sentence you don't hear every day.
Yeah, have you ever hot glued your foot to a cow? I have. To a cow carcass. Okay, so now what I have is two pieces that are curved that will go together well. So, that's seam one. That's the one that we just did. Cow tipping. We did! Sullivan tipped a cow $5. So now we're going to do seam 2, which is this back seam. And again, that means that now we're, instead of just gluing together pieces to themselves, we are gluing them to each other. So seam 2 is this back seam, which goes all the way from what would be the mouth of the puppet to the back of the neck. This may take a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do, again, I want it to curve inward toward these two pieces of masking tape so that it makes a round puppet. And to do that, you always are going to want to start by putting the ends together and then working your way around. It can take a long time. It takes a little bit less time if you're using contact cement, but only after you've let it dry. If you've ever used contact cement, you have to add it to both sides.
And wait.
And wait. And wait. It can be like 20 minutes or so before it's tacky enough to...
Fancy that. We have to wait to get tacky.
I know. Normally we don't have to wait to get tacky. So this is kind of tough to do. Like I said, I'm going to try to get a multi-camera setup or some way to do this so that I can show people what I'm doing on the ground. But I started this way, and you put end to end. You really kind of mush it together. I'll have to do some of this off camera, but when you put two ends of something that is flat together in a curve, what happens is it'll start to curve out. Paid the money and didn't have to do anything. Cow tipping. I know. Well, unfortunately, Mutton and Milk did not win that contest that we entered.
No.
I'm very sad about that. We were supposed to hear by Saturday the 25th, and we did not hear about it. So.
Well, maybe you won and they just forgot to tell you.
I maybe they did, but I would love to see what did win. I'm thinking that Mutton and Milk were maybe a little bit too fun. Like maybe they were going for something a little bit more
That was not fun.
I was really hoping we'd win, mostly because there was no monetary prize for winning. We got paid by the charity
We
for
got money?
Well, we haven't gotten the check yet, but they're sending a check for our expenses, which is why
Don't tell the sheep.
I know, which is why we made two completely new puppets from scratch, because we could just buy the materials. But it would be the charity that won. So I'm really hoping Heifer International won just with a different entry, because I really like that charity. So all I'm doing right now is hot gluing a couple of pieces of foam together.
In between the sniffling.
In between the sniffling. I do apologize if you've just joined us. First of all, if you've just joined us, say hello in the comments. And if you have just joined us, I have a very bad summertime cold that I caught while I was at VidCon. Yep.
That'll learn you.
Yep. I think it was either Cricket or Justin who said you don't have a nose, so you probably can't catch a cold. You don't have sinuses. You have no nose. How do you
Don't
smell?
hold that guy again. Pretty bad, pretty awful, I think.
I was setting that one up for you.
Uh-huh.
See? Okay.
A sweet wine for the wheel comedian.
So, and then we're going to start doing this on curves, which can be a
If
little...
that were hot, you would have won yourself already.
It is pretty hot, actually, but I've gotten used to little tiny burns.
He's gotten calloused.
I've gotten calloused. When we made your little assistant, when we put together your little fuzzy guy. Remember the blister I got on my finger from that? Oh yeah, that was bad.
It looked like my eyeballs.
You had to get me ice. You had to run to the freezer. Mine turned into bronchitis, and it almost turned into pneumonia. Yeah, I hope I don't get sicker than I am, because I took the vacation time off, and I just got a new boss at work. I know him. I've known him for a very long time, but the first week that he was my boss, I went on vacation, and then now it's the second week, and I'm sick. So I'm really hoping that he doesn't think that this is a pattern, because I never take time off, really. Currently beating a feather during your live stream. This is great. It's better than TV. Yeah, I love live streams. I have friends who do live streams while I'm doing other things. Like I've sewed puppets. There is a do you sometimes use some kind of stand with a format so you can just wrap the foam around while gluing? Yeah, well, gluing the foam, you really can't use a stand so much, because what you have to do is you really have to squish the ends together.
There was one time he pulled me aside. It surprised the heck out of me.
What's that? What are you talking about?
You used me as a mannequin.
Did I use you as a mannequin?
I don't know.
Did I use you as a mannequin? I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to gain sympathy, okay?
Oh, poor thing. For the covering, if we were doing the felt work or the fleece work, that would work really well. If I had like a long dowel with say like a wig stand on it, that would work out really well, because then I could make I could really do that. When I was making a pattern for milk for the cow, I actually used a broom. I took the stick off of a broom and I put it between two tables. Remember, Peter came home and he's like, "What the heck why did you undo the broom?" And it was so that I could put that.
He was trying to sweep the floor, and he couldn't, because he didn't have the handle.
I didn't. Yeah, you didn't have a broomstick. So this is going. This is almost. I'm almost done with the second seam. I'm just making sure that it's nice and tight. So as you see, it's starting to come together. It looks a little bit. It looks a little bit angular right now, but remember, we're going to turn this inside out at the end. And it will become a lot softer. The curves will become a lot softer once we do that. So,
incidentally, who are you building?
I just thought, okay, do you see the socks over on the other couch? I was going to do sock puppets, but the pattern that I found doesn't work with those kind of socks. And I tried making something different, and it just totally didn't work. So I had to throw away 2 socks. So now we have these 4th of July socks that we can wear on the 4th of July. Love to stay, but I need to go. Looks fun. Thank you so much, Fantino. I think this is your first time, so thank you so much for joining us this time. I really appreciate you sticking around. If you have a channel, just let us know. Put it in the comments so that we can go check that out. Otherwise, we will see you next time.
I'm going to go check on dinner.
Go check on dinner. It's funny how Fred tends to go away at intervals that might correspond with somebody's arm getting tired. Imagine that. So, this part, I do apologize, this is a little, what's for dinner? We are doing chicken strips, because I'm not feeling well. We normally do something called Manwich Mondays. We have Manwich on Mondays. But because I'm feeling sick, I didn't feel like cooking today. So we're just throwing some chicken strips in from the freezer. And we have some orzo salad dinner. What's for dinner? We're having chicken strips. So just throw those into the oven, and then we'll have it with like some stuff that we already have in the fridge. We have some orzo salad. I'll probably have it with some chips. or something. It'll be good. I just didn't feel like cooking because I wasn't feeling well today. Okay, so I've got this seam almost done. I do appreciate everybody's patience as I've been gluing this seam. It can be very fiddly work, especially with hot glue, because hot glue requires you to kind of hold it together until it cools down. Last time when I was doing this on camera, what I would do is I got an ice pack, one that wasn't filled with actual ice, but one that had the sort of gel in it, and I cooled down that as I went. So, alright, so now we've got the head part. He's all done. It looks kind of like a soldier's helmet almost. And now I just have to put the mouth together, and that's this little bit right here. And then I can turn it inside out, and then we can put it in the mouth plate, and then we will be done with today's live stream, or at least today's lesson in how to put together a foam puppet head. Because I will work on covering this, or I will at least make a pattern, or maybe I'll show you how to make a pattern. Maybe I'll work on the setup for how to make a pattern over the week. And then, a frog! I could definitely make a frog out of this. He's the right color for a frog. He's a couple shades off from Kermit, but yeah, this green foam is not what professional puppeteers use. When professional puppet makers make puppets, they use something called reticulated foam. And if you've ever seen the foam that you use as a filter for your air conditioner or your vents, that's reticulated foam. It's really thin. Well, it's not thin, but it's really it's really porous. Oh, it's this kind of stuff. So see how this is really porous? This stuff is what professional puppeteers would use. That's from a case that I gave Peter for his birthday to hold his computer equipment. It's also a case that you could put your guns in if you had them, but I don't. We don't have any of that. I probably shouldn't have said that on camera, because if closed captions pick it up, then YouTube's going to think that we're advocating something. Okay, so we have a little guy, and that's a little foam head. Now I'm going to let him dry for just a second, or cool down for just a second. The hot glue is going to cool down for just a minute or two. It doesn't take the low temperature doesn't take too long, but because this guy, I know, right? It just comes together. Now, right now, he's still looking a little bit flat, and that's because I've got the seams that would normally be, if you were sewing this would be the seam where you would sew, right? So you would sew along here, and then the whole thing would look flat, and then you turn it inside out, and it would look pretty three-dimensional. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this as carefully as I can so that I don't mess it up, but I can always re-glue some of the seams, and there we go. So we've got a puppet head right now, but he's pretty hard. It'd be pretty hard to make him talk just yet. See, he's a good size, but what's going on here? What's going on here is he doesn't have a mouth plate. If you've seen any of our other live streams, we need to put in a plate, and the mouth plate is, let me pull this aside, is sewing stronger than gluing? Yeah, sewing would be much stronger than gluing, although contact cement will hold it together forever. But sewing is definitely, there are advantages to sewing. Sewing will also allow you to, if you make a mistake, you can pull it apart, whereas if you are gluing or using cement, if you make a mistake, you're done, right?
Oh, you are so done.
You are so done. So the mouth plate is this part of a puppet.
Ah.
Say ah. Like if you had a mouth plate, if you were a puppet, you're not. But if you did, if you open your mouth open wide.
What did I just walk into?
Well, I'm using.
Okay.
Hey Rob, how are you? I'm doing well. We are making a puppet head. This part. Oh my God, that celebrity YouTuber from VidCon live stream. Yes. Actually, this is Fred. You're all set. So yep, that's called a mouth plate, and it's usually two pieces of material that are together, and then you cover it with something else. So we are going to put those two little bits in now, and this is a little bit different from the other way. I've been watching I watched a professional puppeteer today, and he does mouth plates differently than we've done them before. What he does is he puts in the mouth plates, and then he covers it afterwards because if you're making it with foam, the foam itself holds the mouth open, and if you're going to cover it, you don't need the mouth plates to be stuck together, which is interesting. So, excuse me, I do have a cold. I am sniffling. I'm trying not to. How cool is that coming together? My kids are going to have this, are going to love this. Maybe I've discovered a new hobby. Yeah, I mean, your kids can make puppets depending on their age, but they could make sock puppets. You can make puppets out of bags or boxes, bottles. There are puppets you can make out of like soda bottles, I've seen. Or
Paper towel rolls.
you can make them out of paper towel rolls. Pool noodles.
Pool noodles?
Yeah, you can make them out of pool noodles. You can just like a thing. Okay, so this is the pattern that I used for the mouth plate, but it may not be the right size because, of course, as you are, Fred is behind you. Ah, he's right behind me. Because
What's your point?
because this size might be a little bit different. I have cut out. I apologize for sniffling. I have a cold. I have cut out 2 pieces of foam, and I just want to make sure that they actually fit in here. And to do that, I can just hold this up.
He's swallowing them whole.
Yeah, so I can hold this up, and as you see, this is a little bit, or actually a lot, too big for this mouth. And if I put it inside here, if I just kind of snuck this inside here, because this goes inside of the mouth, if I did that, I could get away with it. Actually, that's not too bad. If I did that on the, if I did that like that, what do you think? What do you think, Fred?
Sure.
You think so? Okay. I may trim. I think I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. I'm going to just trim him down. So I have 2 pieces. This is a thicker craft foam. You can find these at. We found this one at Michael's. You can find it at any craft store or a fabric store near you. You can find foam of all different sizes. It's a different foam than the foam that I have. This is like a harder foam, like a craft foam, as opposed to this is a fabric. This is almost like. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put the glue on the mouth, and then I'm going to. I think I'm going to start with the mouth plate inside. And then what I'm going to do is I will glue this onto the mouth. I think.
The point first.
What?
The point first?
The point for, yep. Let me do this. So you're going to do the middle first. So you do the middle first on the middle of your mouth plate, and then you work your way around because it's a round mouth with flat sides. So let's give that a try. And again, I'm sorry I'm doing some of this off camera. The ideal setup for this would be for me to have 2 cameras set up. I did some research on it, and I need to download a bunch of equipment and stuff, but I'm working on that. I would love to have a little studio kind of set up where I could show you a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of crafty things.
Then Peter would never know where to hide.
Well, if there's 2 cameras, one down and one up, then Peter could actually hide while things were down. He could show up in different spots, I'm thinking.
I'm glad you know what you're talking about.
You know, like if somebody was drawing on camera, they would have a, oops, pull this around like that. So I'm basically kind of smushing this around on the mouth plate, and we are adding our mouth plate. Ooh, and this got, whoops, that's a problem. Let's do that again. I think I'm just, no, I was trying to be clever. Instead of being clever. Alright, let's try that again. So what I'm thinking is, let me turn this back inside out, and I will glue it.
It's like an old REM song.
So I'm going to glue it. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just glue here. Okay. And yeah, it would be too big if I did that. So, okay, so my mouth plate was 1, too big, and 2, I was trying to do it while it was right side out. So like that, right? So I'm going to take my Sharpie, and I am going to measure the mouth right here. Hopefully I can do that. Let me just do it on the bottom first. We'll start with the bottom because that one's easier. Excuse my sniffling. I'm trying not to sniffle too much. Thank you for sniffling in. There we go. All right. Oh gosh, I am so sorry about that. I have a cold for anybody who just joined. I don't mean to do this on camera, but I'm trying to be, I'm trying not to be too gross. Okay, I'm making this a little bit bigger. Let's just see how that looks. So if that went right like that, right like that, well like that, right? Right from the middle. Okay, so that's the bottom one, and I am going to stick that right on, I think. I think I'll stick it this way. No, it's this way, right? Because that would be inside. Yep. All right. And I do appreciate anybody. Hey, Pat. Oh my gosh, Zach, I haven't seen you forever. How are you doing? My goodness, it's like a blast from the past. We just had somebody, a woman, I think she just left, but she was a big, huge fan of long hair guys. You should have stuck around because she would have just gone nuts over you. It's like a long hairs reunion. This is great. Oh, this is much better. Okay. This works. Okay.
It burns. It burns.
Nope, I'm not burning. So,
I was talking about the foam person.
the foam person? Oh, poor guy. He's got
Pain. Pain.
pain on the side of my face.
Pain.
Oh shoot.
Pain.
Oh, just broke it. I couldn't have done that inside out. Okay, let me do this again. You know what it is? I can't glue this with the mouth. I have to glue the mouth with it the right side out. Oh, actually. You know what? This can be the right side out. Okay, I just messed things up. But I can re-glue it. This is going to have to be right side out. Like this. Just re-glue. It'll hold.
Blooper wheel. Pain.
Pain, pain. So if you saw Doctor Who, there was a poor guy on Doctor Who.
Pain.
Who he was dealing with a lot of pain.
Pain.
Okay, this is fine. That works. We're going to cover him. So we've got the bottom mouth plate in, and now I'm going to put in the top mouth plate. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to this in like this, like this. Close this up, and I'm going to mark it.
We're going to the market?
Uh-huh.
What are we picking up?
Picking up mouth plates.
Mouth plates?
Yep.
They sell that at the market.
They do now. There we go. Okay.
I know they sell paper plates at the market.
Paper plates and it's a lima bean puppet. Hi, Pocket Rocket Radio. My gosh, all the long hair guys are here. So we have Rob, we have Zach, we have Pocket Rocket Radio. All guys. Justin even has long hair too. So, and Justin's making beads.
I don't have long hair.
No, you have, but you have beautiful hair. You have beautiful pink hair.
Well, you know.
Well, you know. Howdy. Okay, so I'm going to now glue this one into here, like this. Yeah, that'll work. That should work. I'm already doing great. Haha, I've been growing the mane back out. We'll most likely start making random hair vlogs. Whoop. Whoops. Oop. Always loved your videos. Keep up the videos. Oh, thanks. I'm glad to hear you're growing your hair back out because that was, I know a lot of people missed the Zach shake. Zach, if people who, wait, does Fred have a hairy chest or is that a feather boa? He has a hairy neck.
Who's getting cheeky?
Well, that's Kate. You saw Kate. Oh, you didn't see. Oh, yes, you did on the VidCon live stream.
Oh.
Kate is my fellow top contributor on the creator community, and she was super famous this weekend on the live stream, and she is very lovely. Every single person who met her said that she is a lovely, lovely person.
Lovely.
Lovely. Lovely. She is lovely.
Lovely. All she is lovely.
What's that from?
Funny thing happened on the way to forum.
Oh, you're mixing me up with Sullivan. No, everybody loved you. Like we were, so we both got to speak on VidCon Live, and Kate, while I was, she went after me, and so I was finishing up in the hair and makeup booth where they took off our, for me they just basically threw on powder so I didn't shine on the camera, but for Kate they made her look very glamorous. And
How come you didn't look glamorous?
I never look glamorous.
That's because all they do is put powder on you.
That's right. That's right. They should have put, I don't know, something awesome on me. Oh, this is looking okay. Okay, I've got a lot of glue strings. We're trying to keep you occupied or entertained while I'm doing this bit, but this is a fiddly bit. What we're doing is making a little mouth. So I'm kind of forcing it a little bit, but that's fine. I made the bottom part's not as good as the top, but he's just a little. For a live stream, for a puppet that I made on a live stream, I am not complaining at how this is turning out. I am pretty happy with it. Sometimes, if I wanted to do this as a true perfect tutorial, I would do it with many takes on camera, and then, whoa, there we go. Look at all that glue.
And lots of swearing in the editing.
He looks like he could be a great bird puppet. He could be a bird puppet, although I would have to add a beak, but see, he's got a mouth. His mouth's a little small. If I had a bigger, if I do that. So that is a foam head from start to finish. A foam head from start to finish. Now he's got a very small, he's got kind of a small mouth. I can open the mouth a little bit more, and what we will do, possibly next, what?
Do you connect the two pieces together?
Well, the way that the puppeteer I saw, and when this live stream goes up, I will put the link in the description box. He does this, and then when he covers it, the covering, he puts the felt mouth plate on the front, which is different. I would do it from the back, or you would just fold this in half. But this is a really interesting way to do it.
It can swallow.
I imagine a lot of shaggy yellow hair. Speaking of which, I'm resisting getting a hair tie many times of late. I actually got a haircut about a week ago. So my hair is much shorter now. My hair is only to my shoulders now, which is different for me, but it's much cooler for the summer. It takes a lot less time to wash. It takes a lot less time to dry. Much easier to put up. So I'm happy with it right now.
Wow.
What?
You've been on a while.
Yeah, I've been on for 47 minutes. So
wow.
Yeah. So I'm just going to finish this up, and then we can have some chicken nuggets or chicken tenders. So the oven's already on. You can hear the oven's on, right?
Yes, I checked it.
Okay.
It's really hot.
It is really hot. Looks good, and it's still long. It is. It's still a long haircut. It's just not quite as long as it was. So now we have made a puppet head. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. He's a little bit, he's not perfect. He's not exactly.
He's a little rough around the edges.
He's a little rough around the edges, but what we can do, that's what I can do. I can just glue this part right down here. Great stream. Thanks, a lot of fun. Bon appetit. Thank you. So the next time, what I think I will do, I think I will continue on this series using this puppet head that I made, and I will figure out what I want him to be. I'm thinking he might be a furry monster. We haven't done a furry monster yet. And we bought that beautiful fur, that beautiful gray fur. So I think that I might, this was fun to watch. So this is how you make a puppet head. And he's pretty cool. He's got a very little mouth, but he's got a mouth. So, yeah. So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this time. I lasted a lot longer than I thought I would. I thought this would be really short. But we have made a puppet head, and next week we will make him into something else. Feel better. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, if you could hit the like button, that would be very great. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, why not subscribe? If you saw anybody comment on this that you think is interesting, most people who have commented today have a YouTube channel, so check out their channels. They're really nice people. So thanks so much for joining me this time. We are back. Sullivan is here on Wednesday. You can see him talk about VidCon, and then on Thursday we'll have our 3-ingredient recipe. And you can check out George and Dog just uploaded a video yesterday. So thanks so much. Bye-bye, everybody. We will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.